Glory Days show. We begin the 2015 Glory Days football extravaganza as we provide you with correspondent reports from NFL cities around the country.
And with training camps underway, we'll hear from TJ Smith about his Tennessee Titans, and Jay Krebs will tell us all about the St. Louis Rams.
And we will hear from our good friend Rocky Cleaver, the former Jets tight end, about all things NFL.
So let's get to it, shall we? The best hour of your sports week is coming up on Glory Days right now.
eatradio.com.
Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, August 8th, 2015, and you are watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Discofani. This is my good friend Bruce Oler. Kyle Melnick and Eric Mikhailov are behind the glass, and you are joining us on the InRavio TV network, where we broadcast live from Studio C in the great state of New York. Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I know we're excited because the football extravaganza starts. But I'll tell you, man, it's still early August, and since we last had our show,
right,
the Mets have not lost the game. You know,
we were here. We were here the day that they announced the Cespedes trade last week.
Right,
and he hadn't even shown up yet, and they won that game.
Wilmer Flores had the heroics last Friday. He did it again last night,
and they haven't lost since.
They look like a juggernaut. They really do.
I'm looking at like 52.
I think we should cancel the football
extravaganza. It's the New York Mets extravaganza. But you know what? It's really it's a tremendous thing for the Mets because just 2 weeks ago, baseball is amazing.
It's a fickle sport.
7 days ago, 7 days ago, they were 3 games behind the Washington Nationals. Now they're 2.5 games up. They made up 5.5 games in 7 days.
Well, that's what happens when you don't lose. You know?
But you know what? You not losing also has to be balanced with them not winning.
Well, yes, but of course they played them 3 heads up too.
Right.
So,
but I mean, you know that time in '69 when the Mets were chasing the Cubs.
Yeah.
Okay. They went, I believe, 24-7 down the stretch.
Something like that. Right? I mean, they were amazing.
But you also, if the other team had just gone 500 down the stretch, they don't make up enough. They were so far behind, you know. But the best part about this whole thing,
I can't wait to hear this,
is how the look of the lineup has changed. And it's not. I mean, yeah, Uribe hit a home run. Has hit 3 home runs so far.
And they've been impressive shots. At least 2 of them, man. You know, he's really hitting the ball.
It's the way the opposition is now treating the Met lineup has changed completely, and all the other guys have started to hit.
Yeah,
it's just all of a sudden. I give you the perfect scenario. Okay, that game the other night, 1-1 going into the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, okay, and they scored 4 runs, right?
Yeah, the Mets get the first 2 guys on base. Nobody out, top of the 8th inning, nobody out, 1-1 game. Your pitcher has pitched beautifully the whole time, right? Have we not heard this story before?
Yes.
Right? Flores pops up a bunt, first out. Tejada strikes out. 2 outs, none of the runners got moved up. The pitcher spot coming up in the lineup, and who's coming up to plate? Eric Campbell.
I know. I thought that was a big mistake.
Does Eric Campbell not pop the ball up or strike out weakly?
With a 175 batting average, yes.
Right? So what does he do? He gets a hit.
Yep.
He gets a hit. He drives in 2 run. Juan Lagares comes up next, who's batting 9th in the batting order instead of 8th, which I've been complaining about the whole year. And what does he do? He's got 9 at-bats in the last 9 games. and he hits a triple.
Yeah.
Drives in another two.
Yeah.
Drives in the 2
I'll
runs.
tell you the other thing that struck me. All those games down in Florida, you could tell there was a Met crowd that was there every night.
Yeah,
you know?
even last night there was a big crowd.
And our friend Stu Schiffman, who called in, when did we have him on?
Actually, we're having him on, I think, next week or the week after.
Good. He was in those games down in Miami, and then he was up in Tampa last night. I said, he's kind of like a deadhead, man. He's following the Mets all around the state, you know.
Keep on keeping on, Stu. They're winning while you're out
That's
there.
right. Well, you know, I mean, you can't complain. He's bringing them good luck. You know,
Yeah.
keep going, Stu.
Yeah, you know.
Come visit New York next week, you know. We'll have you live on the show.
You know, so our Metsies are doing wonderful, and the best part about it is it's not only that the Washington Nationals are losing, but it's the way they're losing
Yep.
games. They're blowing games. They're getting booed. Their fans are booing them. Do you know what somebody posted yesterday on one of the Washington websites? I saw somebody repost it on a Met site that
Yeah.
I'm on. It's a picture of the car's rear view mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it says
then-
Mets?
No. There's a look on what's his name's face, Bryce Harper's face in the mirror, and it was like kind of say, you better start looking in the mirror because he's the one. He struck out again last night.
Yeah.
In the bottom of the ninth with a man on second.
Yeah, people are making a lot of, I guess, him and Jason Worth maybe saying we're the team to beat or whatever. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, to me, the fact that, I mean, that team, the Nationals, I mean, all they're saying is we got to take care of our own business, and they're not right now.
They're not.
And the
that's-
Mets, they're on a roll.
And that's really all you have to do right now. So by next week, it'll be 13 in a row.
Let's hope so.
Following week, it'll be 20 or so in a row. So we're looking at 52 in a row since they made the trade. Let's go Mets, baby. All righty, you know what?
We're going to switch gears, I
I
guess,
think
right?
we're going to switch gears.
All
Now,
right.
we're not going to completely ignore baseball for the month of August. We're not. Don't worry. We will open every show smiling like jackals. At least I think so.
Well, we hope so.
But right now, it's time to get ready for the football extravaganza.
Okay.
You know, we need an echo. The football extravaganza. Can we build that? Can we build me an echo football extravaganza for next week? All right.
Got a week to work on it. Okay.
You know what? Let's do this. Right after the break, let's get it started, shall we? All right. We're going to take a quick break, just 2 minutes, just enough time for you to get out and pee if you have to. We're going to begin the extravaganza with a report from our correspondent in Tennessee about the Titans. Then we'll follow that right up with a report from St. Louis about the Rams. And if that's not enough, our pal Rocky Cleaver is
All
going to
right.
join us to talk about things that are happening in the NFL. I'm sure he's got a little bit to say about Deflategate.
I hope so.
Stay with us. You're watching The Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Enravio TV network. We're coming right back. Football extravaganza.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Days show here with Bruce and Disco here on the InRavio TV network. Based here in New York, we're very in tune with what's going on in the NFL training camps for the Jets and the Giants, but we always strive to bring you, our loyal viewers, something extra, something you can't just get anywhere else. Our annual Glory Days football extravaganza is our gift to you. Here we go. During the entire month of August, we'll be featuring correspondents from around the country to give you a little taste of what's going on in the other NFL cities as their home teams prepare for the upcoming NFL season. We start this extravaganza in the South, specifically the state of Tennessee, where correspondent and expectant father, TJ Smith, knows a little about what to expect from the Titans this season. TJ, welcome back to the program.
Thanks so much, guys.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm doing good, enjoying the hot weather, I guess.
Is this your first child coming up?
No, it's actually number 2.
Number two. Okay, so you know what to expect then.
You're a veteran.
Okay. So, TJ, one question before we get started here. As we're doing our pre-work, we wanted to know if it was TJ or T.J. What's the official word on that?
I guess it just depends on what you want to do.
Okay, you haven't thought about it too much. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. So what do you think about the Tennessee Titans? What's going on with them this year?
It got to be better than last year. 2-14, it was pretty dismal last year. So, a step in the right direction. They made quite a few moves. Getting Dick LeVeaux down there to help with the defense, it's got to be an improvement. When you're 27th in the league last year in defense, hopefully, you can be somewhere near the top 15 defensively, making that kind of move, getting some experience. Heck, a couple picks. You got your Mariota for a quarterback, and picking up DGB. Dorial Green Beckham. You got to be a help out in the offense. Harry Douglas, Hakeem Nicks, a couple big pickups. On the free agent list. So,
they
definitely got to be an improvement.
You guys lost the last 10 games of the year, including a terrible loss, by the way, to the Jets, who just couldn't even get out of their way last year. And the
Right.
Jets really needed to lose that game more than you guys did, because if
Well,
we
look who
had-
you drafted. That's who you would have drafted.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Because if you had lost, if you had won that game against the Jets would have taken Mariota, who I think has got a real future here in the NFL.
I hope so. Definitely a lot of people are looking for big things out of him. Most rookie quarterbacks that come in are not exceptional, but I'm hoping for good positive things. I know, if you go 2-14 last year, I think a lot of people are looking for at least 5 or 6 wins this year. Which, if you can double your win percentage from last year, it's got to be a step in the right direction. I hope everybody comes together really well. Like I said, we added quite a few people. One of the main things, I guess, hindering us, they really talk about our offensive line being kind of, the caving, and can Mariota survive? Definitely, a lot of hits. Pretty much our left tackle, that Luan Thomas, or Taylor Luan, he's about the only guy that we've got that's pretty dependable, and the good thing is he's left tackle. So hopefully, watching the blind side of Mariota, I'm just hoping it works out pretty well. But, the line's definitely going to cause some problems, both in the run game and with Mariota. So,
last year with Bishop Sankey, and the reason why I know this is because I
had
drafted
him on the fantasy football. Huh?
He was one of my fantasy guys. He really
Is it Sankey
turned
or
out
Stanky?
to be. I called him Stanky all
That's what I
year.
thought, yeah.
But he was, he was a second round pick last year, and he just, I don't know if he just couldn't do it. Have you heard what they think about him last year, or do you think that that kid David Cobb is going to become their every day back?
I think what I've heard from just listening to some of the forums and everything, they're really looking for someone who can step forward in the pass blocking game. I mean, with Mariota there, and if our line's going to cave, they definitely need somebody that's going to step up and be able to take some of the blocks off of them. I think they're going to let it kind of a dual threat. I think they're going to try a little bit of both. Definitely the preseason's going to, let some opportunities shine. But I think they're hoping for better things out of him. But, I mean, definitely, I got David Cobb, Dexter McCluster, kind of like a wing back. I know they didn't use him much last year. Yeah. But they did pick him up. He's got some experience. So, I think, they've got 4 or 5 guys. They got this Jolston Fowler and Antonio Andrews as well. So just to see what they do, who's going to take that spot. But I think they're definitely looking for someone not only who can run the ball, but step up and really take some blocks. That way Mariota doesn't get pounded too bad.
So we talked a lot about offense. Now the defense, I think the big move they made on defense is they brought in Dick LeBeau as a coach, right?
That guy, he was from the Steelers.
And I think he's a longtime friends with Weisenhunt too. So I guess, if your offense is going to struggle a little bit. You got a rookie quarterback. The offensive line's a little banged up. So really the key to winning games is going to be how well you play defense. And I think making that move to get LeBeau in there is a good move for them.
It certainly can't hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you said, you were 27th in the league last year as far as overall defense. A lot of people are hoping you can, be somewhere around the top 15 as far as defenses. We were second to last in the league stopping the run last year. So I think a lot of people are hoping whatever the scheme is that they can draw up with Dick LeBeau coming in, that hopefully we can be a little bit better. You look at the Steelers, one thing they can do is stop the run. So I'm hoping we can scheme and do a little bit better job in that. I mean, Brian Arakpo was kind of hurt most of last year, so I think they're hoping Jarrell Casey and Brian Arakpo can have a little bit better pass rush this year. Maybe hopefully we'll be there somewhere, like I said, middle of the pack as far as defense instead of, down there toward the bottom.
What's the thought so far on Mariota down there? I mean, obviously we're only a week into training camp, 2 weeks into training camp, so you guys really haven't had a really good chance to see him. But what's the buzz so far about him? Is he, before they drafted him, I think people were trying to downplay him and say, he's okay, and he's this, he's that. I think everybody was downplaying them because if you've ever done a fantasy football draft, no matter how much you like a guy, you always say he's a bum. And then you use your first-round draft choice on him because you don't want anybody else to think that you think he's good. But now that you're getting a chance to see him, what's the buzz around him right now?
I think everybody's pretty excited. The only downside that I've heard, coming from a fast-paced Oregon-style offense to a more of a pro-style NFL offense, a lot of people are just worried about the adjustment. But, I mean, they've made some good moves as far as getting weapons for him to use. DGB is a good pickup, Harry Douglas. They picked up Hakeem Nicks as a free agent. Kendall Wright's there, and I think they're hoping Justin Hunter will finally actually have a decent year. But, you definitely surround him with some weapons so he can succeed. I think just the main thing that a lot of people are worried about is this first year and having problems with the offensive line is can he stay upright and not be hurt? And
and really, he's the first franchise quarterback that they've had since Steve McNair.
Yeah, wow, that's a long time ago.
I had him on my fantasy team, Steve McNair.
We've been doing it a long time. So, so the Titans, they play in the AFC West. South. I'm sorry. So you got Indianapolis, you got Houston. Those are two good teams. Actually, Jacksonville was pretty bad last year, but they still finished ahead of the Titans. Right. So are they going to finish in third or fourth this year? What do you think?
My gut prediction probably says fourth, but a lot of people hope for third. I mean, like I said earlier, I'm hoping for 5 to 6 wins. You might even say, some people have said, really, if the offense takes a hold, we might could make 7 wins. I mean, we play Tampa Bay, we play St. Louis, we play Buffalo, Miami, Jacksonville, Oakland, and, we play the Jets again this year, too. So, I mean, a lot of people are saying there's some teams that they could win some ball games. But we also have some teams, like you said, that came out better than they did last year, and so we'll see how that goes.
All righty, man. We were going to have Sammy Stone give us a prediction, as to whether the Tennessee Titans are going to do well this year. But unfortunately, his battery is dead. So we're going to try and change his battery.
Here, hit me on the head.
Yeah, Sammy Stone.
Yo, what's going on?
Tell me the future.
Just ask.
Will the Tennessee Titans make the playoffs this year?
That ain't gonna happen.
All righty, TJ. Hey, good luck. Good luck with everything.
Yes.
And say hi to your dad for me. And we will talk to you during the year.
Oh, sounds good, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Congratulations, you're the first guy out of the box here.
All right.
For the
Nice
Glory
job.
Extravaganza.
Nice job, TJ.
Thanks, man.
Good luck.
Have a good time.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, that's TJ Smith talking about the Tennessee Titans. We're going to take another short break here, and when we get back, we'll head north of Tennessee to Missouri. Is Missouri north of Tennessee?
I would
guess
say
everything's
it's probably
north of-
more west, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the future of the St. Louis Rams with Jake Krebs. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Enravio TV network. We're coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Enravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Enravio.com.
Hey, this is Chris West Jake, and if Enravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Enravio TV network. As we continue with our 2015 Glory Days football extravaganza, it's with joy and sadness going on in the home of baseball's best team, the St. Louis Cardinals. It seems the owner of the football Rams has just purchased a parcel of land in Los Angeles near the Staples Center and has approval to put a football stadium there with the option of moving a franchise there within the next 2 years. And what franchise might that be?
Let me guess, the St. Louis Rams.
Our next correspondent was new to the Glory Day Show this year and made his first appearance during the baseball extravaganza back in March. Please welcome back to the program, Jake Krebs. Jake, are you there?
I'm here, guys. How you doing there?
Hey, man, how are you?
Doing great, doing great. First, just want to congratulate you guys on the Mets making the turnaround. They're looking pretty sharp, so it's good to see you guys handling the Nats out there. You're doing well out east.
You know,
I'm glad you got that out of the way right away, because we would talk about that for a while if you hadn't. Okay,
We talked about that. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. You know, this guy, you guys are used to that type of thing where, you know, everything seems to work for you, and you know, you're very happy, and you could go to the baseball games with a smile on your face. This is something new for us. You know, with the Mets, it's like a generational thing. You know, once a generation, we get to experience this. We had it in the late 60s, the late 80s, the late 90s, and now we're in the middle here of the 2000s.
Well, actually, we're a little overdue.
Yeah, I guess we are. We're overdue, so you know, we're trying to enjoy this when we can. And you're just lucky.
You guys have 2.5 games out there, right?
2.5 games. We were talking before how, and you know this because you're a big baseball fan, the Mets made up 5.5 games in 7 days. They were 3 games out going into that Friday 3-game series with the Nationals. And the Nationals, well, they're doing their part.
Yeah, well, they lost to the Mets and then lost to the Colorado Rockies now, too.
And so, you know, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks, and they were home.
Yeah. But we should really focus on the football extravaganza here. So the St. Louis Rams, I guess you heard Paul's intro volley there. Looks like they're probably not going to be around too much longer, huh?
You know what? I think we've got about a quarter flip chance here, to be honest, guys. I mean, it's certainly looking grim, you know, with all the information out there. You know, we know that the owner of the Rams, Stan Kroenke, you know, he's, you hate to say it, but a money-driven guy. He's got his real estate endeavors, entertainment, all the developments. He's really just a cutthroat kind of business kind of guy. So if he gets the opportunity out west, I mean, there certainly are some grim potential for sure.
Now, I'm looking at your graphic here, and your picture looks like you're pretty young. So were you around when the Cardinals moved from St. Louis to Arizona?
You know what? I was just but a kid. But you know what? Just from, you know, having some of the loyalists around, I mean, there certainly is still a strong Cardinals presence here in town. So there's a lot of diehard Arizona fans residing here in town. But yeah, I was young, you know, when the Cardinals did move.
Okay.
And then the Rams came in '94. So again, gosh, in '94, you know, I was about 6 years old. So
I see.
I mean, there's certainly some loyalists out for, you know, the Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, I was just but a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it was somebody my age, I would have felt like my heart got ripped out. You know, having a team move like that.
About,
you know?
I mean, we know as Islander fans, the Islanders are only moving to Brooklyn. They're only moving about 25 miles away. But they might as well be going to Kansas City as far as we're concerned sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what I don't understand is that usually when they talk about a team moving, you know, relocating, it's because they're not getting the support of the fans or there's some sort of financial thing. Yeah. That's not the case here in St. Louis.
Louis is a great sports town, isn't it? Really is. You know? They get behind it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, you know, we're just a small Midwest town, and what we have is sports.
Yeah.
It's what we have, and it's ingrained in the city. And much like what you guys were saying, it's not for lack of support out here. I think the team had like an 88 or 89% attendance last season. Mm-hmm. So the stadium's not empty. I mean, we're getting support. And Bernie Miklasz, one of our big sports analysts out here in St. Louis, put up a statistic just a couple weeks ago that kind of really caught my attention. And it was something about how the LA Rams, back when they were out east, or excuse me, out west, in their heyday, you know, they had consecutive playoff runs, bowl appearances, their average attendance was actually lesser than that of the St. Louis Rams in our 5 worst years. And we're talking about just 5 years of atrocious football.
Yeah.
You know, perhaps the worst win-loss over a 5-year average for all the league history.
Right.
So, I mean, this has been a pretty poor team, and for whatever reason, we're still getting attendance. It's
And what I don't understand is that Los Angeles, which is probably the number 1 or number 2 media center of the world, they've already shown time after time that they can't support a team. They didn't support the Raiders when they moved back there. Why do they think that if you just build a brand new stadium over there that you know people are going to flock to football.
Yeah,
in
I
Los
mean, and that
Angeles.
shouldn't
There's
be
something
the
going
story.
on.
The story should be what these guys are doing. So, I mean, last year you brought in, I guess that like one of the last draft picks was the first openly gay player, right?
Yes,
you know.
Michael Sam.
So that created
Yeah.
a little bit of a I guess a buzz during camp. This year, I guess your big acquisition, you got Nick Foles, right?
Right.
Yeah, correct. It's kind of an exciting
Yeah.
prospect, I have to say here. You know, you've got Sam Bradford, who was supposed to be the face of the team, going over to Philadelphia, and now in exchange we've got Nick Foles, and he's a guy who, has some surprising talents and some really optimism here in the town with his. I want to say back in 2013, his touchdown to interception ratio was just off the charts. I think he had like 119 passer rating that year, which was second best of all time, just following a couple guys like Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers. But this is a guy who he's just a big man, 6'6", going to see over that line just fine, and it's just we think we're going to get 16 healthy games out of this quarterback,
Right.
and that's something we haven't had here for some time. So there's a lot of buzz about town.
Listen, they just signed him either last night or this morning to a 2-year contract extension, so they must like what they've seen so far. But the big
there's
issue,
been tons of buzz. about
Jake,
camp.
the big issue that you have with St. Louis, besides the fact that Bradford was getting hurt for you all the time, is that they haven't had a lot of skilled players surrounding that poor quarterback, whoever he was.
Correct.
You know what I mean? You got a new back. You got that kid Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Tree Mason came out of nowhere last year. You got a brand new
It's Trey, it's not
offensive
Trey?
coordinator. I don't know, Trey.
Okay. I think it's Trey.
I mean, you got a brand new offensive coordinator. I mean, that guy that you had, Brian Schottenheimer, we know all about him. We had him here in the Jets. We're surprised
it's
that he
exciting.
even got another job.
Yeah, they're really starting to build the pieces around this quarterback, and I definitely have to agree with you. The specialty guys have generally been lacking. But yeah, Todd Gurley is certainly one of the pieces that we hope fits into that particular scenario. As far as his rehab, because we know he's coming off of that ACL injury, I'm not sure how soon he's going to get into the mix, but definitely an exciting player. We know that he did some just amazing things at Georgia, so this could be part of the solution as far as getting those specialty guys just to surround the offense. But yeah, we'd really like to see that.
I looked. I saw something that I thought was really amazing. They have their defensive front. Their defensive front has 5 first-round draft choices.
Yeah, that's
5.
Yeah. Really.
5 guys that were first-round draft choices, which is amazing. They had the defensive rookie of the year last year. Was Aaron Donald. Okay, he's a tackle. He's a really quick guy. And you know what? Defense. What's the old thing? Offense fills the stands.
Yep.
And defense wins games.
Yep.
I think John Madden.
And kicking wins championships.
Kicking wins championship. That's right.
Forgot.
But really, your offense. When the Jets were making the playoffs and making that run, it certainly wasn't because of their quarterback. It was because of their defense.
Yeah.
The quarterback just has to keep you in the game. And I think that with this defense, they're going to do pretty good this year.
So they were 6-10 last year, 11 straight losing seasons. I can remember. Didn't they have a big win against Seattle where they did a couple of trick plays? Wasn't that the big game last year for them?
Yeah. For the Rams have been able to handle teams like Seattle and it's in the 49ers, and for whatever reason they're playing down to these other teams, but. Yeah, they've handled Seattle, so we know they have the potential. It's just being consistent has been the entire situation.
Are they going to have a winning season this year after 11 straight losing seasons?
You know what? I think this is the year.
Really? Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Well, here's the thing. Your opinion means nothing. The only opinion on this show that matters is Sammy Stone.
So here we go.
Yeah.
Okay? Sammy Stone now has a battery in him, and let's see what he thinks. Sammy Stone.
That's right.
Tell me the future.
Okay, ask me.
Will the St. Louis Rams win more games than they lose?
That ain't gonna happen.
All right, there you go. So,
Next.
Sammy Stone's the only thing, is the voice of reason here. And by the way, I think he said American Pharoah was not going to win the Triple Crown.
Yeah, I think he did too.
I think he also said that the Cardinals weren't going to make the playoffs this year, guys.
That's exactly right. So then again, so that means that's good news for you St. Louis Rams fans out there.
Yes.
Hey Jake, we're gonna have you back on in September, obviously, unless a complete collapse happens, when we do our baseball playoff preview, and hopefully we're not playing the Cardinals in the first round, not because we're afraid of you, we just don't want to knock you out in the first round.
I appreciate that, guys.
All right.
Hey Jake, thanks a lot. We'll
Good
talk.
talking to you, Jake. Thanks.
Yeah,
for
always a
calling.
pleasure. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Bye-bye.
That is Jake Krebs from deep in the heart of St. Louis.
Yes.
Fenton.
A big sports town.
It's a big sports town. We'll take another short break here on the 2015 Glory Days football extravaganza. And when we get back, we'll talk to a real football player about the grind of training camp and some of the issues that are facing players in today's NFL. If he picks up the phone, Rocky Cleaver will join us after the break. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco, only on the InRadio TV network. Coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if InRavio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco here on the InRavio TV network. What a year it's been here for our next guest. He started out with a live in-studio appearance on our Glory Days show, the Big Game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I almost said the wrong word there.
Right.
Thanks for...
He then celebrated the birth of his first grandchild, Cameron John, and now is one of the proprietors of an eating and drinking establishment in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, called the Brookline Tavern. He just attended the Jets Legend events out at the Jets training camp. So please welcome a member of the Alaska High School Hall of Fame, Rocky Cleaver. Rocky, you there?
Yes, I am here.
Hey, Rocky, what's happening? How are you?
Not a thing. I'm just waiting on you guys.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Well,
That was a long lead-in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It gets longer and longer every time we do this. So pretty soon you'll just do the lead-in and say goodbye.
Thank you very much, and good night.
So you were at this Legends event. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was really pretty cool. I guess, the league and the Players Association, the union, are getting together and making it so it's not like, towards one or the other. And Al Toon was there, Lance Mel, Greg Buttle. It was really good to see a lot of the guys again.
Yep.
And did you guys do things on the field, or was it just more of a hangout and have a couple of adult beverages type thing?
Well, we had like a little meeting in their meeting room, and a couple different people talked to us and, made us feel good about being old, has-been football players. And then we went on the field. We signed some autographs for the fans and stuff, and then we went on the field and just watched practice, and some guys were watching like real intently, trying to just, figure out what they were doing. I just kind of hung out and talked to guys I hadn't seen in a while because, I don't really care what the scheme is or what they're doing.
Right.
It was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. Do the fans still recognize a lot of you guys? I mean, because football is one of those sports where it's difficult to put a face to a player because, you guys are wearing helmets all the time and things like that. Do the fans still recognize you guys? Or did you wear jerseys?
Well, I hate to tell you this, but the face I have now, they do not recognize regardless. So my face is a lot grayer hair and wrinkles and old man than it used to be.
Well, you've obviously been part of NFL training camps before. Do you, it's a necessary evil for training camps, but there's been a lot of injuries again this year, especially with the Jets in their secondary and stuff. Is there too much stuff going on in training camp? I mean, what's going on? What goes on during a training camp?
Well, this practice that we got to watch, there was no scrimmage or any, full-on contact, but it was a pretty good full equipment, like scrimmage. I mean, not scrimmage, but practice. There was no real hard hitting or anything like that, but there was a lot going on. Quite frankly, I don't know if they could make it any easier than it used to be, and I don't want to be, again, the old guy saying what it used to be, but we used to hit a lot and, have two-a-days where you hit a lot, and you it didn't seem like there were as many injuries back then as there are now.
Well,
so I'm not quite sure why there are injuries, and I think even if you went out there and played flag football, there would be injuries, whether it's a pulled groin or hamstring or, guys hit each other inadvertently and separate a shoulder or chip a bone. So I think regardless, there's going to be injuries.
Now, one of the things I was reading about this Jets training camp is they say there's no fights, and they say that's pretty uncommon because there's always fights. So when you were in a training camps, was there a lot of fighting that was going on?
Not so much fighting. Like mostly if it was like an offensive and a defensive line drill and it was all just pass rushing, just one-on-one, guys would shove, guys might, throw a couple punches. But, for the most part, if you punch somebody's face mask, it's only going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Linebackers and tight ends, we'd have to do stuff, running backs, but kind of as you got a little bit older, you wouldn't fight your friends.
Yeah.
So maybe a young guy you might shove or push or, but I agree that, and that's just a macho thing that, or a frustration thing. To punch somebody with football gear on is really kind of stupid.
Do you think, one of the things that we've talked about here on this show about, especially pitchers in baseball.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You still can hear me? Hello? Did we lose him?
Rocky, you there?
He's saying he can't hear me.
I can't hear him either. Whoop.
Uh-oh. Hello?
All right, we got to stretch. Okay.
Stretch.
So ask me that question.
All right, I'm going to ask Bruce that question. Try getting him again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Try dialing him again. What?
Really? Maybe you're on mute, Rocky.
Well, hang up on him.
Check that mute button. All right.
Anyway, we're going to try and see what happened. We don't know. We seem to lost. He seems to lost the connection as far as being able to hear us. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, in the baseball world, we talked about pitchers and talked about pitchers blowing out their arms and stuff. And a lot of the quote-unquote oldie-time pitchers are relating it back to the fact that they're not throwing enough, that they're having problems. That it's that we're protecting them, we're doing that. And I'm wondering if, John Gruden and a lot of the Chris Carter, a lot of the other football players, older football players, talk about that in their time, so to speak. They used to do 2-time-a-day practices, and they used to practice a lot more. We got him back on? Okay, hold on. We think we got him.
Rocky, you there?
Well, yes. Would you guys hang up on me, or did I?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
No, all of a sudden you couldn't hear us anymore.
Yeah, what's going on?
All right. I'm in the middle of a brilliant point.
You're in the middle of a brilliant point, or I was.
Now we're going to let you in. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so what did you think about that? No, we were talking about the fact that in baseball, the pitchers, the oldie-time pitchers, Nolan Ryan, some of those guys who were great, Kurt Schilling, talk about how they're protecting the pitchers so much and that they're thinking that maybe that's what's leading to all these injuries. Now, on the football side, a lot of the people like John Gruden and Chris Carter and a lot of the other analysts, they're talking about how what you had mentioned before, and you didn't want to sound like an old-time guy, but when you guys were practicing, you were practicing more. Your practices were more intense. They were 2-a-days, and it seems like the players' union, they're protecting the players more, and it might actually be causing more injuries than it's saving.
Well, now I have heard that, and a couple of my friends say that same thing, that we were kind of used to the contact and used to doing stuff every day, where now, if you only do something once or twice a week, you're not used to it, and then you get hurt when you do it, and then you don't get a chance to play in a game. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of, if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt,
Come on, you could say it. Today's football players are babies.
They're a bunch of pussies.
You guys can hear me again, but what?
It was nothing like our time. When,
so Rocky, I think you played in a couple of pretty good Jet teams, and I was wondering if that preseason felt better. You guys just knew you were a dominating team going in.
Somebody's weed whacking. Come on, Joe.
This wouldn't happen on ESPN. So
I don't know what it is. Call me back, I guess.
No, I'm not calling you back again. We're trying to stay on the air here. Nobody wants to hear us. They really want to hear you. That's the whole point of it. But ask your question again.
Okay, so you played on a couple of, I think, Jet teams that made the playoffs, and I was wondering if that training camp, you guys just knew you were going to dominate, or it was something that kind of built up over the course of the season that you knew you were a good team. Such a thought-provoking question. He decided to hang up on us again. Oh, there he is.
That doesn't sound good.
He did. Okay. So you can answer that question for me.
Well, I think that when we knew immediately what type of a team we were. We knew we were good the year before. Yeah. When we came into training camp, we had a lot of enthusiasm. We had a lot of bravado and confidence.
That was a good answer, man.
I've watched a lot of press conferences in my life.
Can I ask you one more?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so this year the 2015 Hall of Fame enshrinement is tonight. Okay.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Football starts tonight.
Junior Seau, Jerome Bettis, Charles Haley, and Will Shields are going in.
Okay.
Did you play against any of those guys?
No.
Yeah, are you sure?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't even recognize 3 of the 4 names.
Charles Haley, Jerome Bettis.
Well, Charles Haley, I guess. I might have played against. I might have played against Charles.
Sure,
Haley.
you recognize all those.
But you know what? Back in those days, there were a lot of concussions.
Yeah.
Which I'm so happy that the NFL today has decided to protect the players against concussions. By the way, there was an article about one of the guys from New England. Who's the guy in New England? He got hit in the head. He got his bell rung. Edelman.
Yeah.
Got his bell rung. And the guy up in the booth, which is a doctor up in the booth, thought he should have come out because he had concussion-like syndrome.
Yeah.
He wound
Symptoms.
up catching a touchdown pass. Then they pulled him out of the game, and then they did the old, do the
was
whole
he?
thing, and he was okay, and
Oh,
he went
was.
back in.
Okay.
But the NFL.
Did I hear
made-
Rocky get back on with us or not? No. Okay. He's MIA. Okay.
So then the NFL, by the way, has added a new rule this year.
Yeah.
That what they're doing is that guy up in the booth has the ability now to call down to the referee and have that guy taken out of the game
Immediately.
until he gets until
I
they
see.
do a
I
medical
see.
review.
Okay. Very interesting.
But unfortunately,
Okay.
we're
Running out of time
running out
here.
of time. So Rocky, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to the connection today. We love having you on, and it was very fun to be Rocky Cleaver for a few minutes.
Yes.
But don't forget, he's got a brand new place where we really didn't get a chance to talk to him about. It's called the Brookline Tavern out in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. So if you're there, go into the bar and the restaurant. Tell him Glory Days.
Yeah.
sent
Bruce
you
and Disco
there,
sent you.
and you get a free drink. See, he's not listening
Okay,
anyway.
yeah.
So.
All right. So we're almost out of time here on the Glory Days Show. We're going to take a break and then we'll wrap up for the weekend. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Enravio TV network. Coming right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Enravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Enravio.com. For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if Enravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Enravio TV network. So, what did we learn today?
One of the things I learned is, and I really thought coming in that maybe Rocky would have been able to Skype into us. You know what I mean? I figure him with being a new grandparent, he's probably Skyping a lot to see the kid as he's growing up, unless he lives on a block or something, So I think we need to work on his Skype abilities, I think, because it's too bad that we dropped him twice there, or he wasn't able to hear us.
You have to, is that a word? Skype ability?
Well,
I think
probably
we should
not
make
yet,
it a
but it'll
word.
probably get in the dictionary pretty soon.
Can we get Webster on the phone and see if Skype ability is a word? or can you just be Skypeable?
Skypeable, okay.
I guess it's variations of the word. What did we learn today? We learned that you can be Sammy Stone when you want to, and I can be Rocky Cleaver if I have to.
There you go. I think we're all good answers too, I think.
But tonight, the NFL season gets underway tonight.
Okay.
Right? Tonight is the Hall of Fame game.
Is that tonight? I know the inductions are tonight.
It's tonight. It's
okay.
Pittsburgh, and I'm not sure who the other team. Cleveland, maybe? You
Could be.
You could check that out. You got the paper there.
I'll check it out.
He's going to look at the
talking.
newspaper while I keep talking. So, but anyway, tonight, so if you're a fantasy football fan, you're going to actually be watching the first quarter of this game tonight because it's time to start talking about your rosters. It's time to start thinking about what you might want to do. Fantasy football is played by no longer millions of people. I think we're in the billions now.
I think so too, and I don't think they're playing tonight because the only thing they have is the Jets
Maybe
green
it's
and white
tomorrow.
scrimmage. And
Must be tomorrow.
I think it's tomorrow.
It might be tomorrow.
All right.
We don't care. Because we're only going to watch the first 10 minutes.
That's
of the
right.
game.
Well, if you watch 10 minutes, it's not worth watching until the third game.
But at any rate, this program is the show that you should be watching every Saturday from now until the beginning of the year. We're going to have reports from Miami.
Okay.
We're going to have reports from
Atlanta. Or
Seattle.
Okay.
The team that should be champions.
Yeah, if they hadn't.
And then, of course, the team that is champions and our beloved Pete Torgerson, who has been under psychiatric care after he lost his mind here on the Glory Days
That's right.
show
They took him
last
away.
But he has agreed to come back as long as we don't talk about deflated footballs.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll make sure we lead off with that then. Get him.
But really, and then we're going to have the return to the Enravio airwaves of Mike Ferrara.
Oh, really?
Mike Ferrara is going to be back here on Enravio talking about fantasy football.
Okay.
On this here program.
That should be good.
We'll have Jets and Giants. And of course, Jerry Schwarzman.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
But
that should all be good.
It's hard to talk about football when we're in the midst of this baseball thing going
That's right.
on.
And with the Mets playing well, it's not like you've forgotten about baseball yet,
No, it's not time to give up on baseball. Although normally right about now we are. Mm-hmm. Right about now, the last 6-7 years, haven't we just said, well, this is not good?
Yeah. It's a whole different regime.
It is. And it makes it different. I was telling my wife last night. I said, Mets won yesterday. It came back 3 times in the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
You were telling that? You were telling
yes,
this?
I was telling her.
Was she impressed?
She could care less.
I know, that's what my wife would have been doing too.
But I said, you know what? It just makes my day.
Yeah.
It really does. It makes the next day so much more pleasant. You're smiling. There's a little pep in your step that they're winning. And that it's, I don't know, it's just something that, I guess.
It's a beautiful thing, Disco.
It's a beautiful thing.
All right.
I guess you have to be a real sports fan to understand what we're talking about, And if you're not a real sports fan, you probably wouldn't be watching this show.
Yeah.
Like my wife.
Or my wife.
So we could say anything
or my
we
kids.
want because we know that no one in our family
That's right.
is watching.
You want to do something hide in plain sight. You know what I mean? Honey, I'm going to make sure you watch today's show. I'm going to make a special announcement just about you. Okay.
Has that ever worked?
No.
Thanks to our producers, Kyle Melnick and Eric Mikhaila, for all their hard work and making us look so good out here. And thanks, of course, to our correspondents today, TJ Smith from Tennessee and Jake Krebs from up there in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's up there. Is that Midwest?
Out there. Let's say out there.
You know what? I was never good at Jeopardy.
Okay.
When it came to like the geography category. That was one of those categories I would miss.
They had something recently on Facebook where they showed you 10 different states, and it was a multiple choice thing. I got all 10 right. I mean, it wasn't all that difficult.
Then you should tell us. You should be writing this stuff when it comes to geography.
Well, I told you. I said west. I mean, because we were talking about from Tennessee, and Missouri is definitely west of Tennessee.
And of course, thanks to the always entertaining Rocky Cleaver, who I'm sorry, man, we just kept losing you there. Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, putting up with this nonsense week after week. And of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. Don't forget you can check out the Glory Days On Demand page on www.inradio.com. And you can watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the InRadio TV network. Next week, we continue with the football extravaganza. The football extravaganza.
Onward and upward.
And we'll have reports from Greg Kohler on the team that should be the Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks, and Bill Chandler of the Atlanta Falcons. And
Pete Torgerson.
Who will be on medication. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. Let's go, Mets.
InRadio.com.